Hey, Kingdom Millionaires, what is scarcity? Scarcity is when there is a limited availability of provisions and or resources for the support of life. And we know as believers, we are two-part. We are a spiritual being having an experience in an earthly body. So as a physical body living here on earth, there are things that we need in order to function and have a great quality of life. One of these things is provisions, our basic needs: shelter, food, clothing, car, utilities, etc. Also, other needs. You might need furniture to go inside your house, apartment, gas for your car, pots to cook, vacation, etc. Number two is resources, which are supplications that are used, right? Supplications that we receive, such as money, gifts from someone. It could be either in the form of money or clothes or food, job, career, income streams, are gifts. For instance, my gift, I'm displaying it to you guys, teaching you how to go from scarcity to abundance. And so provisions and resources. What this is saying is that when there is a small number of provisions to meet a need, or there is a restriction on your resources, the full measure of what's needed to support you in this life is not made available to you, often leaving us in a state or a place where the quality of our life becomes diminished. For example, you make $500 at your job, but after paying $450 in bills this week, you have $50 left to feed a family of four. Or you may be in a house, but there's not a lot of furniture, right? You may have to sleep on the couch, or you don't have a kitchen table to have family dinners at, etc. And so your quality of life becomes diminished when your provisions and your resources are limited. And these are actually real examples that I've experienced, except with the income part, I was making a little bit more, but I had literally $50 left at the end of each week, and I had to feed a family of four with that, right? We also was in an apartment where we didn't have a kitchen table. We had like one mattress that I had, we slept on the floor with, things like that. And so when you think about the limitations, you think about the restrictions, you think about all of these things, you may be at a job, for instance, where there's a cap, right? It says these jobs, you can only make this amount of money. Or if you don't have a degree, for instance, you can only work at these specific jobs and make this amount of money. So there's restrictions on your ability to have more resources for a better quality of life. Because of that, oftentimes when it comes to our needs and provisions, those are also limited automatically because there's a certain amount that we can make, or a certain cap, in order to take care of ourselves and support ourselves, right? And so when we're only focused on resources and provisions as our primary source, when we're only focused on those things, it's always going to be limited. We're always going to be in this place of scarcity because these things either come to an end or there's a cap. If I buy $50 worth of food today and I eat that food is no more. It came to its end, right? Now I have to go and get more to support my life. Like I just mentioned previously, if I work at a job where it says it's restricted, or it's a cap, you can only make up to this amount, right? However, my needs and what I need supplied for my quality of life is higher, I'm still going to be limited. And so as a believer, if you're only trusting in your resources, you will always be limited. As a body, physical, right? There's only a certain amount of hours we can physically work. Or again, there might be a cap or restriction. Someone might gift you something today, but might not gift you anything else for months down the line. Talk about income streams. I can have investments, but if the market crashes, my income stream is decreased, right? So there will always be a limit or a cap when we're only focused on those things. A lot of times as believers, we don't make God our primary source. We don't even really understand or realize how to do that and how to create provisions and resources from within, the kingdom within that he has given us, right? And so that's what I'm going to be teaching as we go forward. Definitely click the subscribe button so you'll be notified when more teachings become available. If this helped you, leave a comment. If you have questions, leave a comment and I will come back and answer you. But let's work on becoming and living this blessed life, living this higher quality of life, right? Because God has given us the capacity to do so as his children. Be blessed.